Hey guys, Gareth197 again, this time with a review of the high-grade heavy metal Auge from the heavy metal L-Gaim series. This is the final episode version, which means it's slightly different from the normal Auge, and on top of that, this is the heavy plating version, which means that we immediately have one big problem, because the original kit wasn't supposed to be plated. So we have very obvious nub marks all over the kit, which is really unfortunate. It kind of ruins the feeling, but overall it's not too bad in my opinion. So for colors, we have a very nice kind of honey yellow for most of the body. As you can see, you have silver, very nice shiny silver highlights all over it. Then we have a very dark blue for the hands, the more mechanical details, the feet as well. And then we have normal gray for the poly caps. Don't know if you can see the difference, but this is like very dark blue, and then this is the poly cap material. Stickers, you don't need a lot. You just need his front head jewel here, then the red cross here, and then the cross on the back here. Those are all the stickers you get and all the stickers you need. So that is all really nice and awesome. But now let's talk about the articulation. The head goes a bit up and down, a little bit side to side. It is on a ball joint. It can only go side. It can only turn about that far. But and that is another problem with the head. This tiny little face mask here just keeps falling off. And then, as you can see here, there are like hoses running down, and they of course get stuck, so you can't move any further. Then the arms will turn around all the way. Then these giant shoulder guards go up on a hinge and are very tight. So they're on a hinge, they go out about that far. Then I'm just going to do it with the other one. Go out about that far, and then they can turn around as well. The other one has the exact same articulation, but a lot stiffer. And the arms also go forwards and backwards really nicely. Fortunately, they go out about that far. We'll turn around below the shoulder, but it's once again so stiff I don't want to do it because I'm genuinely concerned about breaking that peg. Then the arm goes up about that far on this joint, but then there's a separate joint, goes out that far. But for a double joint, 90 degrees isn't impressive, even for 2002. And then it will also, no, won't turn around. I thought this could also turn around, but I guess I was wrong. Then the hands are on ball joints, will wiggle, turn around, and do everything a ball joint does. Then the waist is on a ball joint, so this is kind of surprising. Goes forwards and backwards, side to side, and will turn around about that far. Then the legs, the upper legs are actually quite impressive because they're of course not hindered by anything. So he can do a split, but he can't go up all the way like that. But unfortunately what he can't do is a grande car. That is as far out as they go. That's pretty depressing considering how far forwards and backwards they go. Then you have also these wing thingies. They're on a hinge, so they go up and down, and then they will also kind of rotate. The knees, they have a very interesting separation thing going on here. If you bend the knee on the top, you can see it kind of opens up a little bit. Unfortunately, even though it's on a double joint and the leg doesn't appear to be hindered by anything, you don't even get a 90-degree bend. This is as far as you can force it, and that's like, what, 45 degrees, 60 degrees if you're generous? That's really bad. And another nice thing about the legs is this flap here opens up, and it's kind of like a thruster thing. But according to the manual, this is called the random slat. They really couldn't think of any better name for this. The random slat. So yeah, I'm going to call this mobile suit Mr. Generic. Yeah, that's a good name. Then, the feet have some weird articulation going on. And the standard is that it goes side to side as normal, but then instead of having a normal joint that would allow the feet to move as a whole, and the heel and the tip are actually on separate joints, so they move completely independent from each other. Unlike most Gundam kits, where you have like one joint on top and then like the tip sometimes has a separate joint, no, they're completely separate. It's not, well, in the beginning I thought it was going to be a pain for posing, but yeah, it's not that bad, not as bad as I was expecting. And they also go a little bit side to side. Talking about posing, because of the way the legs are really hindered, and also because of these elbows that really don't want to move, posing him, well, not really going to happen. He is quite a static kit. You can pull off some very nice poses, but just not real dynamic ones. As for accessories, well, let's get his face mask back on. At least until it drops off again. Oh, come on, just stay in there. No, yeah, that ought to stay. Because accessories, well, it ain't gonna take long. You get one really awesome looking scythe. Unfortunately, it is molded together with the hand, so you do have a little black spot here. The one very unfortunate thing with the scythe is, when you look at the box, it shows the Auge holding it with two hands. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen, because, pop it goes, for the left arm, well, you only get two hands, either a closed fist hand or an open palm hand. So you can only pretend that he's holding it with both hands. And I mean, come on. Couldn't they have given us an open hand that was capable of holding it? Because now you have to be like, seriously, he's holding it. That just doesn't work, does it? And then, of course, you get the same options for the right hand. You also get a right open hand and a right closed fist. Those are all the accessories you get. That's partially because most of the accessories are on the mobile suit itself, such as the beam cannon here, a beam cannon here. This was the Buster launcher. Then, oh yeah, you also have little missiles in here, though they were called hand launchers. But that's just a fancy name for a missile. Also, the manual says that there are two sabers on this guy. I can only assume that these are those two sabers. The problem is, they don't give us any beam blades. Yeah, that's pretty stupid, isn't it? They don't even give us solid beams. They don't even give us like a solid saber. You can't even remove these. They're literally molded in, they're pegged in there, and in order to remove them, you would have to disassemble this entire piece. So accessories, actually pretty depressing. I mean, for 1,008, well, no, this actually is a lot more expensive, but the original kit was 1,800 yen, so you would expect a lot more, right? As always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? Well, for the original retail price of 4,500 yen, absolutely not. That is way overpriced. That's just, I can't find the words to express how expensive that is. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's a fine model and all, but 4,500 yen, No way. And I will immediately prove my point. Example number 1, the Hyakushiki. This is the one from the Griffio's War set. Separately, I'd say 1,500 yen retail. As you can see, the plating is pretty much the exact same. 1,500 yen, 4,500 yen. And the Hyakushiki isn't that much smaller. Not to mention, he comes with more accessories and 2 clear beams. So yeah, that's pretty devastating already. But the best example I can give you is the 1/100 scale Master Grade Hyper Mode God Gundam is also 4,500 yen. If that doesn't prove my point that this guy is way overpriced, I don't know what does. However, does that mean you should avoid the Auge at all costs? Absolutely not. If you can find this guy at a sale, I would say pay a maximum of 3,000 yen. That seems like a fair price for this guy. 3,000 yen. Then it's absolutely worth it. The articulation might not be all that great, but he looks fantastic. Especially with his giant scythe. Who doesn't like giant scythes? Come on. He's awesome. And he just looks good standing there. So it all boils down to the pricing. And that's all I can say. Or if you can, like me, I found him for 300 yen. If you can find this for 300 yen, do not think buy. So that's all for this review. And oh yeah, maybe a final quick thingy. Let's say you're thinking, hey, these are ball joint hands. Gundams have ball joint hands. What if I use a left hand of a Gundam kit I have in order to make him hold his scythe with 2 hands? Well, unfortunately, it cannot be done. Because these ball joints, oh, damn it, are the same ball joints as used by the old G Gundam kits, Gundam Wing kits, and Gundam X kits. And that means you only have like the ones, those are the ones in like one solid piece, and they won't be able to hold on to this. They can go over this narrow part here and this narrow part, but unfortunately they won't be able to hold it where it counts. The normal style hands you get with the high interval centrally ones, they're too thin. So you could kinda try to make them fit, but they won't fit as is. And one final thing is, the dark blue here kind of has a little bit of shimmering to it, kind of like the EcoPlum models. So that's now really all for this model, and see you at the next review.